Hi, I'm Tim Scheib, husband of one, father of five, realtor, and this is Behind the Sign. We all know that every action that you take in today's world, somebody's got a camera on you. Everything is always being videotaped. Privacy has pretty much gone by the wayside unless you're in your own bedroom and your own bathroom. That's about it. Showing homes, same thing. You know, everybody's got the Ring doorbell or a Nest camera or you know, the Arlo. The cameras are everywhere, exterior and inside the home. We know and we're trained as real estate agents that if we go into a house, just assume you're being recorded. It's just the way it is. So you always have to watch what you say. Now, I know for myself, when I'm with my clients, they become my friends and, you know, we just have small talk all the time. And you don't want that moment caught on tape a lot of the times, especially if your client likes a house or if you know it's not the right fit for them, you don't want to offend the sellers. Which brings me to my first point. If you're listing your home for sale and you know you have cameras in your house, what do you do? The one thing I recommend to my clients all day, every day, is do not watch the cameras when someone is showing your house. And you might say, well, why do I have them there then? If you can't control yourself, take the cameras out, unplug them, whatever you need to do. Because watching those cameras, you're bound to get mad, you're bound to get angry, you're bound to get heartbroken. I mean, if I'm in someone else's house and I'm looking at it, I don't live there. I didn't decorate it. So there may be something I don't like. And if I say it to my spouse and you're watching the cameras, you might get mad. You might get your feelings hurt. Now let's say that those people that are looking at it actually do like the house. Well, now you don't like them, so you don't want them to buy your house. And it can be hard to negotiate with someone. It's a very strenuous situation when you watch those cameras. It's also really not fair to the buyers that are looking at the house. Now, you're selling the home, you want the most money as possible, so you really don't care about fair. But at the end of the day, just if you can't control yourself and you're going to make yourself watch those cameras, I just highly, highly recommend you just take them out for the showings. If you want to just unplug them, whatever you have to do, give them telling you like the stress that you'll go through will make this experience so much worse than it really needs to be. And that's just the truth. I know when I go up to a house, you know, and I see there's a Ring doorbell, first of all, I always look right at the Ring doorbell. When I bend over to pick up the lockbox, I'm always like, just to let them know that I know, hey, I know there's cameras. Because typically a seller, if they feel like, if someone's watching you and then they know that they're watching you, they're typically going to look away, right? Like, oh. So hopefully that will give them the idea, hey, I know you're watching, so please don't watch. But on the other side of it, I pick up the lockbox, I open the door, and that camera sits on the wall right here, and it's got a pretty wide angle lens. So I'll reach right over top of the camera, look at my clients and point at it like, hey, there's a camera here. And I always tell them as well, when we're walking in houses, if I see a camera, I'll nonchalantly point at it just so you know, don't say anything that shouldn't be said. If I'm in a house and my clients love the house, the one place I take my clients or when I start speaking up, so the oddest thing, if you're showing homes to somebody and they love the house, right? They love it. The first thing that happens is they get quiet. They look around and they get quiet. If they don't like the house, they're going to be talking about it. They'll be telling you, oh, it doesn't have this, doesn't have that. When they're quiet, that typically means that they're digging what they're seeing. So when I pick up on those vibes, I usually wait until we get into the master bedroom or the master bathroom, which seems like an odd spot to talk. But that's usually the safest place to have a conversation with your clients because you know that they're not videotaping themselves in the bathroom, right? You sure hope not. Now, maybe somebody will put it in there knowing that I just said that, but that is usually the safest place where you can have a conversation about the house while you're in the house. You don't really want to wait until a half hour later, talk about the house you're just in because you might not remember some things. As the buyer's agent, I might say, hey, it has this, you might want to check this out. Or if I see some things I just want them to be aware of, cracked tile or a scratch in the woodwork or something like that, I might say, hey, when you're back out there, take a look at these things. Don't make it super obvious, but I just want to make sure you know. So if you decide you want to write an offer on this house, you know those things are there. The last thing I want to do is keep that stuff from them. Then they say they want to write an offer, and 2 hours later or the next day, tell them, oh, hey, did you see this? Did you see that? Did you see this? We want to go through that in the house. And again, if I were to say that and someone had a camera in their kitchen and they were, well, that tile was broken because of this, they get mad at you. It's just a natural reaction. It's their house. They don't want to hear you say anything negative about the house. And that's why, again, go back to it. Sellers, don't watch. Don't watch the showing as much as you want to know what's happening. Wait for your agent to give you the feedback. Same goes for after the sale, during the inspection. I had a client who just, and she'll know exactly who I'm talking about, but she just was like, oh my gosh, he's doing this, he's taking pictures of this, taking pictures of that, I'm like, settle down, don't watch the cameras anymore, it's going to drive you bonkers. Just because the inspector is noting absolutely everything about the house does not mean that the buyers are going to care. Well, I'm not replacing this and that and this and that, and I'm like, settle down, let's just give it a chance, don't watch those cameras. And sure enough, the inspection report comes back and they didn't ask for hardly anything. So you get worked up over nothing, and getting worked up over nothing is a complete waste of time, it's a complete waste of energy, and it's just not, your emotions just can't handle it. So again, after the sale, when the inspector comes in, the appraiser comes in, the termite person comes in, if they come back to measure with their parents, that happens all the time. Someone will look at it, they look at it during the inspection, they still want to get back in. I tell my sellers when that happens, they're just excited about buying the home. That's a good thing. We want them to be excited. We want them to be excited to get back into the house that they're going to be buying, because that keeps them excited. So don't watch those either, because mom and dad might come in, and mom and dad will definitely say some things that'll tick you off a little bit, make you worry, just make you mad, whatever. But again, don't watch those. And as a buyer, 100% be aware that the Ring doorbell, that was a situation where I had some clients, we looked at the house, I knew they liked it, we needed to talk about what they wanted to put on the offer. At the same time, someone else was coming in to look at it, so we needed to step out on the front porch. And we're on the front porch off to the side, but the Ring camera was still catching our audio. And during negotiations, the agent said something that triggered me, and I'm like, okay, I know they listen to us on the Ring camera, and it's not really fair, and it's not really appropriate for them to be countering based on our conversation. At the end of the day, my clients wanted the house, they bought the house, but those situations happen a lot, and you just have to be 100% aware of what is going on and what is on around you, and just know that you're likely being recorded. And I always tell my clients, try not to give up your position in the house. And that's why we talk in the master bathroom. That's why we talk in the master bedroom. Those are the key places. But just remember, as an agent, everything I talk about with my clients is confidential, unless they ask me to share that with the sellers. So everything I talk about with them is 100% confidential. If we're in front of a camera, we can't really do much about that, other than just be aware and to make sure that we know it's there, and to make sure that we understand that if we're in the house, there's a chance that they're going to be listening somehow. So you just got to be very careful, pick and choose where you talk, pick and choose what you say. I showed a house that I went on the listing appointment for, did not get the listing. I was about to sell that house, ironically, but I knew the sellers, and I knew that they were going to be watching their cameras, and sure enough, they had cameras on the kitchen counter, they had cameras in the storage room, they had cameras everywhere watching. And so I just made sure to say positive things in front of the camera about their home, but kept our plan quiet until we were outside the house in a safe spot. But anyway, just always know, we know it with social media today, we know it with everything. Everybody is being recorded all the time. You almost have to live your life that way. So when you're out looking at a house, or when you're selling a house, keep that in mind. Sellers, please don't watch those videos. It's such a heartbreaking thing for you to do, and it's not worth the energy. But that's all I got for you today. We'll talk to you soon.